So Neil and I were just talking, and we were pretty excited because we finally found something Dan's good at MCA. I think after we graduate, Dan's going to become a professional bar mitzvah MC for the next few years, so let's figure something out. So Jason asked me to speak yesterday. I think I was the last person he asked to speak. I think that's what they call filler, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. But no, so I feel like I've spent the last year and a half entertaining y'all, so I didn't really come up with like the funniest speech ever. But I did want to talk about something serious, and it's about giving back to the LLC and all this. Because we kind of talked about it with some of our classmates, and a lot of people are reluctant to give money, because we don't have jobs, a lot of us, and we don't really know what the money goes to. And I kind of been like trying to mull that over and kind of figure out why we should give money. And so actually today, about a minute and a half before I left work to come over here, I looked up like what other schools like ours, what their endowments are, and what the average donations are for other schools. And it's actually, a lot of that information's out there. I was actually surprised to see it. But who knows how much our endowment is? Anybody? A guess? So I think it's, what I found was $176 million, right? Which is a lot, right? That's a lot. But that's about if you look at every other school that's in the top 7 or 8, it's not even near close to anybody else. Harvard's, I don't know what it is. Stanford's is close to 800. Wharton's close to 700. Kellogg's up at 600. Columbia, which who's Columbia? They're 350. That's twice ours. Michigan, the only other state school in the top 10 is over 320, and we're 170. The only other school that's kind of in that realm is Anderson, and come on, that's Anderson. They're twice as bad as us. But that's you really can't control how big I don't think anybody has $200 million to beef up our endowment, so I'm not really worried about that. But what I did think was interesting was the average alumni donations to these schools. And kind of Harvard, Stanford, they were about 250. That's the median. The mean is actually way up there, of $4,000, $5,000. Columbia's 200. Duke, who's Duke, right? They're they're not even in our league. They're 200. We're down at 150. We're actually the lowest average donation for a school in the top 10, and we're top 5 or anything like that. That's, again, median donation for alumni. So just think about that, because it does matter. We're a state school, this money goes somewhere, it's actually valuable. So that's my 2 cents, my being a salesman for the LLC. So I'll end on one thing that's kind of funny that I've actually wanted to say for about 2 years now, and actually just came to my mind about 5 minutes ago when I think Champa was talking about days at Haas. And it has to do with when I got accepted to Berkeley. So this is about almost exactly 2 years ago, maybe last month. And I applied round 2 and I had an interview. I had for some reason I couldn't get my interview scheduled. So my interview was actually after the day that everybody found out they got in. And I was all stressed out. I think I called Pete and everybody in the missions. I'm like, am I, what's this mean? I haven't had my interview yet. And they're like, no, don't worry about it, it's okay. So I think it was a Tuesday. I skipped work to go have this interview. And I had my interview and I thought it went well. And I came home, I actually kind of was skipping work for the afternoon and kind of went home, taking care of some things. And again, this is actually kind of a really funny story, but it's kind of embarrassing, but I've always wanted to tell Pete this forever. So I was at home, I was sitting on the toilet, skipping work, and my phone rings, and I was convinced, I was sure it was somebody from work calling me, being like, where the fuck are you? You've been gone for 5 hours, we haven't seen you all day. And so so I hear my phone ringing in my bedroom, and I'm on the toilet, so I had to get up and race into the phone because I think something bad has happened at work. And it's this number, I'm like, wait, I don't get this. Who is this? And surely it's not Haas, because I had my interview an hour and a half before. And it's Pete Johnson. So the first time I ever talked to Pete Johnson, I was standing in the middle of my living room, actually, with no pants on. Yes, to confirm Dan's accusation. But that's all I have. Thanks again. We have a couple more speakers.